looking back, once I had suffered all the abuse, I had disassociated at a very young age and I felt empty. I remember at 12 years old, I was feeling quite empty. It was all about trying to find an escape. And I ended up finding an escape in alcohol. And then from there, I laid on the bed and I could feel like my wairua kind of slowly slipping out. And I felt like a serene feeling. And I was laying there on the bed, my arm was bleeding out. And I just thought, oh my gosh, is this what it's come to? Like, this is it. Me asking myself, what could have helped me? What could have helped that 12-year-old girl? Like, is there anything that could have helped her, that could have saved her from being in this position right now? And I thought, what if I've seen someone tell their story of drug addiction, sexual abuse, mental health. And then in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I've got to do. I've got to make a documentary.
My name is Nicole Young, and this is the Rock Your Bottom podcast. Kia ora guys, and welcome back to another episode. I'm so excited for this up and coming episode with Holly Beckham. Her story is absolutely incredible and one for the books. Before the episode begins, viewer discretion is advised. As stated in the intro, we touch on some sensitive topics, so just be mindful of that before this episode starts. Remember, if you are enjoying the content, team, engaging with the episodes means so much more than you probably realize. What it does is it helps the episodes grow further to reach the people who need to hear them. So press all those gorgeous buttons, the likes, the subscribes, even comment if you're feeling up to it. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the next episode. Holly Beckham, welcome to the Rock Your Bottom podcast, hon. To be honest, am so excited to have you sitting down with me today. I have seen a lot of your stuff over the internet, and it excites me in the recovery space that there is someone like you just smashing it. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. I'm excited to meet you because I'm all for this kind of kaupapa as well. So yeah, really excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, I just usually start off these podcasts with my guests just introducing themselves and just stating a little bit about who they are and where they come from. Take it away.
Okay. Ko waio. Tūranga tera tōku maunga ko Pōeroa. Rere ana tōku awa ko te kerekere. Hoi tō tika ana tōku waka ko nā toki mata whāroa. Nā whā tōku marae tupakari e. Nā tirangi tōku hapu, whanui, and nā pui tōku iwi. Ko waio, ko Holly Beckham. My name is Holly Beckham and I am from up north. I hail from Ngāwha. I currently live in Tamaki, and what else? I am 6 years clean.
Oh, wow.
Am I 6 or 5? I think I'm 6 years clean, yeah.
Congratulations. 6 years is massive, babe.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to have you sitting down. You have been the face behind some of the most incredible documentaries here in New Zealand, and you have an amazing story yourself from active addiction into recovery. You know, and this is what this podcast is all about, is shining light on those conversations. You know, I actually just want to ask you the big question to start off with, and we can go from there. You know, if I ask you about mental health and addiction, where did it all start for you?
Okay, where did it all start? I guess if I think back, it would be my childhood. Definitely my childhood. When I was 18 months old, my dad passed away from bronchiectasis, and I remember the day, not the day that he passed away, but the day that he bled out and he went to hospital and he never came back. So I remember that quite clearly, and that would have been one of my first traumas at a very young age. And then after he passed, I was sexually abused by a family member. And I guess that's where it all started. That would be the root cause of my addiction and my mental health. Yeah. Yeah, so it all started when I was a child. Yeah.
Looking back at it through your childhood and teenage years, how did your addiction progress?
Good question. I think looking back, once I had suffered all the abuse, I had disassociated at a very young age, and I felt empty. I remember at 12 years old, I was feeling quite empty, and I remember having my first sip of alcohol, and I didn't like it. I hated the taste of it. I was just like, ugh, yuck. But it kind of progressed from that first sip. Having that first sip, and then 12, 13, 14, 15, along those years, it was all about trying to find an escape. And I ended up finding an escape in alcohol. So it started with alcohol, and then it just slowly progressed over the years into harder drugs. And that was all about trying to escape the reality that I was in. Yeah. I think 15 is when it really kind of escalated and took off. I had got myself a job. So I'd been kicked out of school, and then I started working at the local supermarket, and I kind of loved it because everyone around me was older. They were all into drinking, and I could pay for my own alcohol. So I kind of started hanging out with older people, going to parties, and then it was a bit of a cycle of work hard, play hard kind of thing. And that's where it kind of really took off, and my drinking really escalated to nearly, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and midweek. Yeah. And I thought that was okay because I thought, well, I'm still going to work. I'm still turning up to work, so I can still drink.
Was everyone else around you the sort of same as well? Were they drinking in the same sort of patterns and behaviours as you were drinking?
Yeah, they were. They were. I kind of started to gravitate towards the people that could actually keep up with me. And then, and there were a couple of others that would drink, but then they would know their limits and they would go home. And those people sort of slowly drifted off, and then I started gravitating more towards the heavy, hardcore drinkers. Yeah.
Drifting more towards the heavy, hardcore drinkers. Where did that end up leading you?
So I guess that continued for quite a few years, and I got to a point. I got to a point when I was about 19, and I was heavily drinking, but I was also working really hard. I was a good worker. And then I got to a point where I was just kind of thought, is this it? Like, I'm 19. I don't really have any goals. I don't have any, aspirations. And it seems to be, I'm stuck in a cycle of drinking. And I felt empty. I felt so empty that I just didn't see any point of living. So that was when I tried to take my life for the first time at 19. Yeah, so I tried to take my life, and I ended up, thankfully, being resuscitated and came out of that. But my auntie came and got me from Auckland, and I went with her down to Auckland from Whangarei. And I stayed with her for about 2 years or so. And she kind of, rehabbed me, got me back up into a living space where I wanted to live. And then what did I do? I kind of rebuilt my life and went down to Nelson to go and study. And I thought, okay, cool, I've got a new life, not going to be drinking anymore, not going to be doing any more drugs. And as soon as I got to Nelson, I just fell straight into the same trap. Yeah. So
is that because you sort of was the environment down there very drinking orientated, or?
I guess it was. There were, it was. We were students, we were studying, but also the fact that I hadn't dealt with my trauma. I didn't know that I was hiding and bearing all my trauma. So purely, I could have gone anywhere in the world and I still would have ended up in this exact same position because I hadn't dealt with the underlying issues. So, yeah, got straight back into drugs down in Nelson and partied hard for a few years. And then again, came to the same realization of, what am I doing? What is my life about? Felt empty. Then moved back up to Auckland and continued that drinking cycle for a long time. I got married. And what did I do from there? I continued drinking heavy, I guess, for a lot of years until I got to another point where I hit rock bottom. I'd lost my marriage. I'd lost my job. I got fired. And then again, I was back in the same position and I tried killing myself again. And then that was the point where I woke up in the hospital bed and my mum was there. And I looked at my mum in the eyes and she looked at me and I could just see the hurt and the pain that I was causing her. And I wanted to do something about it. I was just like, what am I going to do? Like, I can't keep doing this. Yeah. There's got to be something that I can do. Then the doctors came in and they were like, okay, you got to fix your life because you're in hospital all the time. You keep doing this. And I decided, okay, cool, I'm going to do something. And that's when I admitted to my mum that I had a drug and alcohol problem. Yeah. So I told her and she helped me get into rehab. And because there's such a big wait list, I ended up going in to get assessed and I had to wait. So during the time of waiting to get on the list and to be admitted into rehab or to detox, I had to maintenance drink. Yeah, because every time I'd stop drinking, I would go into seizures and end up in a hospital. So I was maintenance drinking. And then I finally got into rehab, which was amazing. And I did my detox, got into social detox. And social detox for me was hell. Like I thought I'd hit rock bottom by going to rehab. Yeah. But no, there was another rock bottom. And I got into social detox. I was about a week or so off drugs and alcohol. And I was in detox and there was other people like scoring and drinking and it just didn't feel safe.
Wow.
Yeah, they were doing drug deals from the rehab out in the driveway and it's kind of like, oh, okay. So I didn't feel safe. And then we had this other guy that was in rehab and he was doing strange things like coming into my bedroom at night and it was just, it felt really unsafe. And at this point, yeah, I was about a week clean, feeling absolute crap from not having a drink or not having anything. So I ended up trying to take my life in social detox. And because they take everything sharp away from you, I didn't have anything sharp. I didn't have anything to try and I didn't know what to do. So I ended up, and this is my light bulb moment, and this is kind of where Over Meth also was born as well, the idea for it. So I was in rehab, feeling like crap. I looked up and I took the light bulb out from the ceiling, crushed the light bulb up, got the piece of glass and slit my wrists. And then from there, I laid on the bed and I could feel like my wairua kind of slowly slipping out. And I felt like a serene feeling. Yeah, I just felt this feeling of peace and just serenity. And I was laying there on the bed. My arm was bleeding out. And I just thought, oh my gosh, is this what it's come to? Like, this is it. Yeah. My whole life, and this is it. And then I believe this is my tupuna telling me. Out of nowhere, I had this clear kind of message, vision, and it was just me asking myself, what could have helped me? What could have helped that 12-year-old girl? Like, is there anything that could have helped her, that could have saved her from being in this position right now? And I thought, what if I've seen someone tell their story of drug addiction, sexual abuse, mental health? What if I had seen somebody tell their story on TV? Because being from Whangarei, you don't really that's the only way that I would have seen it, is on TV. And that's where I got most of my inspiration from, was turning on the TV and seeing other people and going, oh, wow. And I thought, what if I had seen someone share their story? And then in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I've got to do. Yeah. I've got to make a documentary. Out of nowhere, I'm just like, okay, no, I can't die today. Yeah. I've got to make a documentary. I've got to tell these stories. So I all of a sudden had this rush of energy. I felt like I had a purpose. I looked at my arm. It was bleeding out everywhere, blood everywhere. So I can't remember what I grabbed, a sheet or a pillowcase or something, wrapped up my arm and went to the front desk and was like, can you please call an ambulance because I'm not feeling well. Look what I've done. I've just slit my wrist. I tried to kill myself, but I changed my mind. Yeah. I changed my mind. And the guy was like, looked at me and he was just like, well, what did you do that for? Well, that's stupid. And I looked at him and I could feel my strength kind of like going. I was just fighting with all my energy to be like, please help me. And he said, that's so much paperwork. Go back to bed and we'll sort it out in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And within that moment, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, okay.
What did you do?
Well, I thought to myself, well, this is it. No one else is going to fight for me. I have to fight for myself. So I ended up getting a taxi or an Uber. Yeah. And I woke up, I remember kind of briefly going into the Waitakere hospital, and then I woke up in Middlemore. Oh, wow. Yeah. A few days later, I ended up waking up in Middlemore. I had been into surgery. They had fixed my, put everything back together. And yeah, I had woken up in Middlemore and I was just like, oh gosh, okay. Yeah. This is it. This is where my actual recovery starts, is here in this hospital bed. Yeah. And ever since then, I have done everything in my power to stay clean. I got through rehab. So I did my 7 months or so in rehab, went through, what did I go through? All the rehabs, the bridge, higher ground, and got out the other end and then was like, okay, so how do I make a documentary? Yeah. I've never made a documentary in my life. I have no idea. But I kept that moment with me, and every time it got hard throughout rehab, I was like, okay, no, I've got a purpose. I've got to get out of here so I can learn how to make documentaries and tell all these beautiful Wahine's stories of recovery. So I took myself to South Seas Film School after rehab, learned how to make documentaries, made my first documentary in South Seas, which is called Te Ara Anō, and that's about two beautiful wahine who are now in recovery. And then Mana Over Meth. Yeah.
And, you know, like you speak of these like you just have, and the reality of it is that they have changed so many people's lives. Like, I work in a treatment centre and I chuck on Mana Over Meth all the time for the guests and stuff. Look at this, come on, sit on the couch, watch this. It's incredible. How did the process go with filming those?
Yeah.
And finding the people and putting it all together.
Well, Mana Over Meth in particular was special to me, extremely special, just because, I guess because Jess is amazing in herself, and her recovery is amazing, and everything that she's done. But just the process of filming Mana Over Meth with Jess, it was a healing journey. And it wasn't so much a healing journey for her, it was a healing journey for both of us, which I didn't expect that. There was a point when we were filming, and it's where Jess is planting the pahutakawa, and we got to the end where she had planted it and she was sitting on a log just watching the pahutakawa and the ocean, and it was like all of a sudden I got, like, it was just, that was it. That was the moment that I held in my head when I tried to kill myself. It was all just linking up. And that was the moment that I was just like, wow, I just started bawling my eyes out, that it all had come true. And that I didn't die that day, because there was a bigger purpose, and that purpose was sitting there with Jess trying to tell her story. And I don't know, it was just a very spiritual process. Yeah. And I guess making Mana Over Meth, we did lots of karakia. There was a lot of process behind it, because telling her story was quite raw. There were parts where it was raw, so we had to ensure, like the cameraman, the soundie, they had never seen anything like that when she was shooting up in the shower. They were like, oh my gosh, I think the soundie went real pale. Yeah. So once I saw that, we all had to stop, take a moment, go outside, get our feet on the whenua, and just take a moment. Yeah.
It's massive. Tell me a little bit about what Mana Over Meth has done within the communities.
Yeah, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. It's gone into prisons. It's gone all over the motu, that's for sure. It's gone in several film festivals. We took it to Hollywood. Then we took it to Fiji last year. And then we kind of, out of that, what am I saying? Out of that came Mana Over Meth Kura Kaupapa. Yeah. So we ended up taking it to schools up in Te Tai Tokerau, and then down in Te Tai Rāwhiti, everywhere. So me and Jess would go and tell our stories. And I think that was the point where we were like, wow, it was resonating with kids, rangatahi. So we've taken it all through them. And then it just got in so much hot demand that, we just didn't have enough time. Yeah. And we've also got our normal jobs to pay the bills. And then we're trying to fit in, go into all these schools as well. Yeah. So it's reached far and wide, definitely.
Yeah, the impact has been massive. It's I smile because I just feel so happy for you, because what once was, you stuck in social detox and stuff, and where you were to that vision just coming to life, that is so special. And you should be so proud of yourself for backing that vision and just smashing it, So I'm just like, oh my God, this is incredible. During your process through your addiction and, mental health struggles, how was your family, your whānau through that? Did they understand what was going on?
Not really. I guess yes and no. My mum was struggling, but she now understands. Now that she's seen me go through it all and come out the other end, she now understands, which has been amazing. It's been so amazing to have her actually understand me. And then, no, most of my whānau, some understand and some don't. Yeah. I guess with my recovery and my addiction, there's so many different elements, as there is with everyone's recovery and addiction. So some do and some don't. Yeah.
Yeah. With what you do today, do you have any siblings?
No, I'm the only child.
Oh, wow. And so that's really cool that you and your mum have been able to build this relationship. So you guys are close today?
Yeah, we've always been close. We've always been like best friends.
Yeah.
So she's always been beside me the whole time. She never left my side. So
through treatment and everything. She was right there.
Yeah.
And what about your auntie that you spent a couple of years with here in Auckland? Do you still have a relationship with her?
Yeah, I do. I don't get to see them as much, but they live up north. I see them during Christmas and that, but not as much. Yeah.
Has there been anything within your recovery? Has anyone ever said like a quote or saying that you've held with you and that has helped you through these past 6 years?
The only thing that I have held on to is when times get really hard, and I still use this from today as well. Sometimes it's just minute by minute. Yeah. And sometimes it can be second by second. But each minute and each second continue to move. And it moves on, and it might go to an hour, and time keeps moving.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I am struggling, I'm like, okay, I've just got to get through this 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 minute's gone. I've just got to get through 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I've held on to, is that. And I use that throughout my whole day. Even sometimes at work, I'm like, oh, okay, just got to get through that 1 minute.
1 more minute, it's okay.
Yeah.
Totally. That's awesome. So you've been clean and sober now for, like you said, 6
6
years. That's incredible, Holly. Like, oh my God, 6 years is a long time. What tools and strategies have you used within these 6 years that have helped you remain clean and sober?
A lot. A lot of tools. I still go to therapy, so I go to therapy every day. Oh, not every day. Sorry, I wish I could. Every week. I go every week to therapy, and we do trauma processing. So processing the trauma has been an absolute gem for me, being able to work through it. And within that, I've used a lot of DBT skills and CBT skills, which I also learnt before that. Which are skills that help me just throughout my day-to-day. And that could be just being grateful, writing down things I'm grateful for. If I'm feeling a little bit off balance and a little bit not quite right, I mean by disassociating or down, feeling sad, I'll either go to the ngahere in the bush. I just do the basic nature kind of things that really gets me back into my body and back into the present. And being out in nature has been my number one, I think, savior for me to stay in recovery, and exercise. Yeah, I've found a lot of love through climbing mountains. That has definitely kept me clean, been outdoors and given me purpose. But it hasn't been easy 6 years. I've had to work at it every day. Yeah, it's not just something that you can go, oh, cool, I'm sober now, and just leave it. You've got to continuously work on it and do the mahi. Yeah.
What struggles have you faced within these 6 years?
A lot of trying to find who I am. Once we took away the drugs and the alcohol, it was kind of like, well, who am I? And I felt like I was left with nothing. And then once I was like 6-7 months clean, I could feel all the trauma kind of starting to boil up, and I didn't know how to deal with that. Like emotions that sometimes the emotions felt like they weren't mine. I was like, oh no, it feels like someone else is inside of me. So having to dealing with the aftermath, I guess, all the stuff that I'd been hiding and buried within me, it was all bubbling up. So that's what I've had to deal with over the last 6 years, and I'm still trying to deal with it. And with that would come depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts. I still get suicidal, self-harm, but I don't self-harm anymore because I've got tools. But I still get those urges. Yeah. I definitely still get those urges. Yeah.
If someone was listening today and they, may be in a similar sort of boat to what you once were, what would your advice be to them for their next step forward?
Definitely find some support, therapy or a support group. That's what's helped me, is finding support, finding people that you can talk to. That was a hard one for me because I've never really opened up or trusted people to be able to talk to.
Yeah.
So I did make it a bit of a mission to try and find at least one person that wasn't my mum. Because if my mum's not available, who am I going to talk to? So it's taken me 6 years to actually find a good friendship and someone that I do trust. But I have done that. So find some support. read books. Yeah, read books that can help you. But for me, finding support, just even if it's just one person. Yeah, one person that can help you through those days where you're really low and you feel like you can't get through.
It's interesting you say that, because I think a lot of people sometimes go and show up to a one-on-one counselling session, for example, and they don't click with the person, and then it's sort of like, oh, I'm just gonna go and try another way. And it's like, oh, sometimes it does take just trying again and again until you do find someone that you do sort of click with, and you can have those meaningful and open conversations with them. Did you find within your experience with your therapy, your therapist, was that the first person that you tried, or did you have to sort of did you do your rounds?
I did my rounds. Yeah, I did my rounds. It was hard. I did my rounds, as you say, and I went through so many people because I just felt that they weren't the right fit, like what you're saying. And I think I've gone through I ended up 12, 13 people. And that's giving them a chance too. Like, I would see them a good 6, nearly a year, and then be like, oh, I can't. And I did feel like giving up, but I just kept going, put my name on the wait list, because most of the therapists have either got a wait list and can't see you. So I just rung up pretty much everybody I could and then tried everybody out until I actually found the right fit. And it was a long, arduous process. Yeah. Like, sometimes I was like, oh, I can't even be bothered anymore. Yeah. But you've just got to stick at it. Because I'm glad I did, because I finally found someone that could actually help me. Yeah. And like they say, things don't come easy. The things that come easy are too easy, and you're probably not going to be that grateful for them. The things you really have to work hard for, you really treasure and you hold on to and you're grateful for. So that's kind of, my recovery. Like, recovery doesn't come easy. Yeah, you've got to really work at it. And so with that is, working for a therapist, finding a friend, support. You've really got to work hard. It doesn't just get given to you. Yeah. Well, it might do, but I haven't experienced that yet.
No, neither. If it was easy, everyone would be doing
exactly.
it, And it's but it is doable.
It is.
And on the other side of it, I'm sure you can agree, it is worth it.
Hell yeah, it really is.
As we sit here and we have our little discussion, I've just realised that we spoke a lot about your drinking through your sort of teenage years, 20s, and you've stated that you had a problem with both alcohol and drugs. What did your drug use look like through it all, if you don't mind me asking?
My drug use was anything and everything. Yeah. Whatever I could get my hands on. Yeah. But also, my drug use was very, how do I put it? Like, undercover. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tried to keep it undercover. Yeah. Like, a lot of people didn't realize I was using drugs, although I looked like I did. But I tried to keep it undercover. It's just whatever I could get my hands on at the time.
Was meth a part of that?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Because I know that the methamphetamine epidemic here in New Zealand is outrageous. You know, like, it is taking so many people from their friends and their whānau and their communities, and I think it's really important to acknowledge that we are in the middle of it, and it's not at the moment, from what I'm seeing, getting any better. Would you agree?
Yeah.
What do you believe we need within our communities to help support these individuals that are suffering from substance abuse?
I reckon we need whānau-led approaches. Like, it's not just that one person. If you look into it a little bit more deeply, it's usually a whānau problem. Or it's rooted deeply, and it's intergenerational. Yeah, and you can't just, well, you can, but it's like an approach where you actually treat the whole whānau and bring everybody in to help. That's what I believe. But Yeah. Just makes me quite sad to think about it now, actually.
Do you think New Zealand is sort of stepping in the right directions with these sort of things?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, from 6 years ago, I feel like there's a lot more out there. But again, the way we are at the moment, everything's limited. Like the beds are limited. It would be great to have more beds. But then I was just over in Fiji, and they are far way worse than what we are.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about your experience over in Fiji with all of it.
Well, over there, like people are dying because they don't even have needle exchange or anything like that. So they're using the same needles. They've got kids dying. While we were there, I picked up the paper, and the paper was like, meth deaths, and they were children. And over there, they don't talk about it. It's tapu to talk about it. You don't speak about it at all. And you could, the health system is absolutely stressed over there. It's so bad. Yeah, I think when me and Jess went over there to talk, the media were like, "Are you sure you want to talk?"
Really?
Yeah, and we were kind of like, "Well, yeah, why? Of course we want to talk. We want to help." And then we realized nobody talks about it over there. You're not allowed to. If you talk about it, you're probably going to get killed or beaten up. Or we actually felt quite unsafe when we were walking around the town.
Because you'd spoken about it.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, now we know why people don't talk about it over here. Like they're so far behind. Yeah.
Oh, and so your documentary obviously made it over there to sort of speak in a different way than you guys just obviously standing there speaking. Do you have an understanding of the impact that documentary has had over there yet?
Not yet. When we were there, we premiered it over there with the university, and they were really grateful. But again, it was sort of uncharted waters. So they were kind of like, wow, is someone speaking out about this? And there was lots of people that could relate to it though. They were saying that they could relate to it, but they didn't want to say that they related to it out loud in front of other people.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think it definitely helped them. But everyone was quite silent about it. They would either come up to us and say, thank you, I can relate to it. Yeah. And then they kind of shuffle off. Yeah, so it was really interesting how it's all underground. Yeah. Yeah, it's still in the dark over there. You're not allowed to talk about it. It's not allowed to be in the light.
Do you think that when, I guess, more and more people do start talking about it, because it would have taken a lot of courage and effort for you and just to step up and talk about it with, everything that was going on, do you think that the more people that do step up and start talking about it, it will sort of get a little bit, I guess, looser in that conversation?
Hopefully. Yeah. Well, that's what we were hopeful when we were over there.
Yeah.
We hope to kind of start that. I mean, they don't even have meetings over there. Yeah, they've got nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Hopefully that was our main goal. Is if we start talking about it, hopefully it might, like you say, loosen it up a bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it just got me thinking, like, it is really sad, that's the reality of some places, and we are lucky, here in New Zealand, that we do have detox beds, we do have rehabs, and we do have meetings, and we've got all of this stuff that some places just unfortunately don't have.
Yeah, like we might not have enough, but hey, at least we've got it. I mean, I was complaining, but until I went over to America and Fiji, I was like, wow.
What was your experience like over in America?
Yeah.
Really?
It was bad. Like people were just using in a cafe. Yeah. We went to a meeting, which was great. But you really had to hustle hard to get your recovery over there. Yeah. You really, had to work hard at it. It was everywhere, like drugs and alcohol was everywhere. You've got people, kind of yelling at you, hey, you want to buy this? So it would be so hard over there to try and get into recovery.
So your documentary, Mana Over Meth, made it over to Hollywood, over in the film festival. How did that all go for you, that whole experience? I bet you it would have been like, was it overwhelming?
It was. Unfortunately, Jess couldn't come with us or come with me. So I was like, oh no. And I didn't want to go by myself. So I ended up taking Mamaeroa, who was a part of Recovery Street, who I met through Recovery Street.
Amazing.
So she got to come with me, and it was her dream to go to Hollywood. So I was like, okay, cool. So we went together, and I'm glad I had her because it was intense. You're kind of just walking down the street and you've got people tapping you, hey, come buy this, come do this. And it's just like, so I had her with me, which was great. But yeah, it was overwhelming going over there. I'm trying to think. Like, I guess in the whole grand scheme of things, we were lucky we got to represent Aotearoa on the stage. Mamaeroa did a waiata, and we got to represent Māori on stage, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. And after Mana Over Meth had played, we had Jess on the phone, so she could talk to the audience as well, which was cool.
That would have been so special.
Yeah, it felt like a huge achievement and a huge milestone. Like, wow.
Yeah,
how far it took us.
Totally. Do you believe having that purpose, you spoke earlier about sort of you felt your spirit sort of tell you something that you needed to make these documentaries for other people, really, because if you had something like this when you were going through it, it would have changed the game, really. Do you believe that once you had received that gift of a purpose, it has helped you through this past 6 years?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, having that purpose has really given me a reason to live. Yeah, because otherwise I didn't feel like I had a reason. And knowing that if I continue, hopefully it will help somebody else. And knowing that what would have helped that 12-year-old or 8-year-old Holly by someone sharing their story, that would have helped the small Holly know that she wasn't alone, because she felt so alone. And if I felt like that, imagine how many other young girls would feel like that or are feeling like that. Because I do believe I'm probably not the only one that's felt like that. So, yeah.
If you did have that 8-year-old, 12-year-old Holly in front of you today, what would your conversation to her look like now?
I'd probably let her know that she's not alone and that she's loved and that none of it was her fault. Yeah, none of it was her fault, because I do feel being sexually abused and groomed at a young age, it felt like it was my fault. And I would just want to let her know that it's not her fault at all. All those things that happened to her are not her fault, and that she shouldn't feel ashamed, because it's not her shame to carry, it's somebody else's. And I just want to give her a big hug.
She deserves all the love, for sure. Going back to one of our conversations previously, you spoke about how you have found a lot of wellness in connecting with nature, and you love climbing and stuff. I'm pretty sure I've watched something on my little laptop screen of you climbing like this massive mountain. Tell me a little bit about your experience with filming that.
So getting out into nature has been another one of something that has kept me clean and kept me in recovery. So I ended up, when I was on a film job, meeting Lydia Brady, who was the first woman to summit Everest with no oxygen. So I randomly met her, and she was talking about Everest, and I was like, oh, wow, Everest. And then from there, we kind of got an idea of well, she said to me, well, yeah, you could climb Everest. And I was kind of like, oh, yeah, whatever. Whatever, lady. Yeah. And from there, we've kind of made it a bit of a mission that to try and get me to Everest. And in order to get to Everest, I need to learn how to climb because I don't really know how to climb. So my first mountain was Te Ara, which is Mount Aspiring, down in Te Waipounamu. And Lydia Brady guided me up Te Ara.
Is that the one you filmed?
Te Ara, yeah.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, so we made a documentary about it. It's called Te Ara. So I got to learn how to climb with her.
Yep.
And learn how to put crampons on and just learn how to climb pretty much. It's just, amazing and hard work. It is hard work. It's the slow slog just climbing up and up. But I learned how to use an ice axe and just all these technical things that I didn't know existed. But I think the main takeaway of learning how to climb was just getting out into nature and big nature. Being out on the maunga is just something so spiritual about it, especially on bigger mountains. And you're up so high and it's like you're directly connecting with your tupuna. Like you're right there. It's exciting. It's super exciting. And to film it as well was another added layer on top when having a camera watching you do all these things. It was a great experience. And to be able to hang out with Lydia Brady, who's like a legend in the climbing world, has been super amazing. And I feel so grateful to be able to do that because I know so many other climbers would have loved that opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah, so I feel super lucky.
That's incredible. And so are you, you did that, are you going to go and do Everest?
Hopefully. So once I did that one, I went and did 3 6,000 meter climbs in Nepal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you film any of that?
I didn't take a cameraman with me. Thank God I didn't because it was hard.
Yeah.
I filmed a little bit, self-filmed, but it was probably one of the most exhausting things I've ever done.
Who did you do that with?
I found Lydia put me onto contact with like a company that does it. Yeah. And I just went with a random group of people most of them were from the UK. But it was a 28-day expedition.
Oh my God.
So you're pretty much just full on climbing and walking for 28 days. Yeah, I got super fit out of it. But altitude sickness is like a real thing.
What is altitude sickness if you were to describe it? What does it look like?
It feels like food poisoning. Ooh, okay. Yeah. So once we got higher, I started getting headaches, started feeling dizzy. And then once that happened, it was diarrhea and it was spewing and it felt like food poisoning. Oh, yeah. It felt horrific.
What day did that kick in for you?
That kicked in quite early. I think on day 7 or 8. Yeah. And then that just continued for the rest of the 20 days.
How did you get through the rest of the 20 days feeling like that?
I don't know. It was hard. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done because you're climbing and you're getting up at 4 a.m. Oh no, we're getting up at midnight because you can't climb. Well, you can climb in the daytime, but it's more safer to climb in the dark when the snow isn't melting.
Okay.
Because that's when you've got risk of avalanches.
Yeah.
So we'd get up at midnight, 2 a.m, around there, get geared up, and it was freezing, like minus 25.
Oh my
So everything's frozen, and you're just climbing in the dark with a little head torch, and all you can see is a little light, and that's what you're following. But that also is quite symbolic because it's kind of like your recovery. All you can see is the dark and you've got this tiny little light and you can just see your little steps as you go. And then it comes back to that 1 step at a time, 1 minute at a time, but you eventually end up going where you want to go. And then, somehow you make it to the top. Yeah.
Incredible. After the 28 days were like done and dusted, how did you feel?
Exhausted. I've never felt so exhausted in my life.
Yeah.
But it was exhaustion with happiness and wow, I can't believe what I've done. But yeah, I've never experienced such exhaustion. Yeah. Some of those days were like 19 hours of just walking and climbing uphill, like steep. Yeah.
How were your feet and your hands and your head? Like, did you have like blisters galore? Have you just?
I lost my toenails, so all my toenails were black. I had lost them, but at least they weren't my toes.
Exactly.
It was just a toenail, so I was just a toenail. That's okay. My body was just so sore. Everything was sore. Yeah, and then you kind of just go into a different stage of it's sore, but you've got to keep going because you've got no option. Yeah. You're in the middle of the Himalayas. Helicopters can't get to you. You've actually got no option but to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you call it your body's sort of in like a state of shock almost, and it is just that mental challenge of one foot in front of the other, just keep going?
100%, yeah.
Holy shit.
It's all about the mental game, really. Yeah.
Wow, it's just fascinating, man. Like I love it because you really have found something outside of you, that you just grabbed onto, and it's incredible. Today, I was going to ask you earlier, and I completely forgot, but I guess I'll just ask you now, what does an average day look like for you today compared to 6 years ago when you were in the depths of your mental health and addiction time?
So today I would be, it's completely different. I will get up, go to the gym, do some sort of exercise because that's what gets me started and gets my body going and my brain moving, like everything's going. Then I will go to work. And I contract, so it'll be film and television, some sort of film and television work. Nice. Working in production. At the moment, I'm working on Wakahuia, which is a Māori TV show. I'll go and do that, and then that's like a full day. And then from there, I will either be working on other projects. At the moment, I'm working on how to get funding to go and climb Everest. So that's just slowly burning in the background. Yeah, that pretty much takes most of my time up. Yeah. And then within that, I'll either try and be doing some sort of climb. Trying to either organising a climb, either down south or somewhere, just trying to get out in the outdoors. Yeah. Yeah, I've got to get as much practice and fitness in as I can to prepare for Everest. Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of not only like physical, but it's also mental as well. So my therapy is also another thing that is preparing myself for Everest. Once I've got to try and process as much as much trauma as I can. So when I'm on Everest, it doesn't pop up and I'm like, halfway up a mountain, I'm like, remember that time?
Not up Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Do you have sort of like a date or like some sort of time frame that you are looking at doing Everest around?
I would love to do it next year.
Yep.
I don't know if that's going to be possible though, due to funding.
Yeah. How do you go about getting funding?
Different avenues, because we also want to make a documentary. We want to document it.
Of course.
So that would be through, a TV funding source, but then I also need to look into sponsorship as well. Yeah. So a lot of different avenues, and pretty much all I've got to do is just keep sending out thousands of emails to everybody. Yeah, and just you keep getting rejection after rejection after rejection, but just hold on to hope that there's going to be one. There's going to be one that goes, okay.
One yes, yeah, and then it's just you're off, and I'm nearly certain that you will get it. Like, oh my god, yeah. That's incredible. If you could name the biggest gift your recovery has given you today, what would that be?
Biggest gift. I think the biggest gift my recovery has given me is feeling emotion, whether that be happy, sad. It's just I can actually feel today. I wasn't able to feel before my recovery. I was numb, and I don't even think I was in my body. I was so far disassociated. So it's definitely the gift of feeling. Yeah.
That's incredible, Holly. As we start to wrap up this podcast, I just wanted to acknowledge you and your journey through it all, hun. You have come such a long way. And I want to thank you for all you have done within the recovery space as well, with these documentaries and the impact your journey has had on so many other individuals' lives out there. Like, you probably don't even, like, oh my God, but it's absolutely incredible. Someone's got to do it. And it's like, you honestly, these documentaries, you climbing these mountains hold so much in them. And I'm in absolute awe about it. As we wrap this up, I love to give my guests just the opportunity to have the floor one last time, say anything that you want to sort of close with. And, the floor is yours.
Oh gosh. I guess I just want to thank you, and thank you so much, because every time you say like mana over meth has impacted others, I just got goosebumps. Yeah, because I don't think I realize how much it has, and it makes me so happy that it has impacted and helped other people. So I just want to thank you. Thank you for having me.
You've absolutely smashed it. And, I'm sure, I am sure, but I am so, so excited to see what the future holds. And when you do climb Everest, you've got a lot of people backing you, babe, and I'll be right there in the corner as well going, yeah! Thank you.
Thank you. When times get really hard, sometimes it's just minute by minute. Yeah, and sometimes it can be second by second, but each minute and each second continue to move, and it moves on, and it might go to an hour. Time keeps moving.